one of the benefits is that at the end of the program, they are going to be able to, operate as private individuals, owning their own businesses as well. So yes, basically that is it.
Oh, wow, okay. So Clement, what is trending in business mind?
I think what's really trending is what Nini has really, because that was what was making in the economy. That was, I would say, it's a business story because of its economic implication. This has been a promise by the President John Dramani Mahama when he was campaigning. And as Mimi said, it's basically about empowering the youth to take responsibility or take charge of their future. And when we say Ejumora, it basically talks about job owner. It is just an account word, and its meaning is just about job owner. In terms of equity, Yaira, there's going to be 60% of beneficiaries, which include women and girls, persons with disabilities. We are going to have unemployed and underemployed youth, out of school youth, youth in conflict affected areas, youth from rural and mining communities, and other areas too as well. So it's not going to be a program where it's going to be enjoyed by the little few people, but rather it's going to be by all disabilities. And the target is 10,000 as we said. What really goes into this program is that it's not only for new business starters, but also it's going to be open for people who are already into the business and who want expansion. And one thing I learned yesterday from this speech is that they are going to give access to funding. They are going to give mentorship. There's going to be technological support and access to equipment and machinery. At the same time, market access and facilitation, and also 367 days of comprehensive business advisory services. So this is all under the Ejumora initiative. The interesting part I just want to talk about is aspects of coaching and mentorship. That is what the youth we are lacking, most are lacking. Even we have the one major thing is in terms of tertiary schooling or education, the course you want to offer. Sometimes you lack. You don't know this course I'm going to do, the end result, where I'm going to end up, and at the end of the day, we do anything at all, we come out and we are just struggling. So I think this initiative, which is going to be a form of coaching and mentorship to our youth or upcoming people who want to enter into the business world, it's a very good thing, I would say. And it falls under the Ministry of Youth Empowerment and Development, and under the NEIP, that is the National Entrepreneurship Initiative Program. So that's basically about the Ejumora program that was launched yesterday.
Okay, so adding up to, still empowering young people, and from a different perspective, business mogul Richard Ni Amakwe, we all remember him, right? The only man who had a birthday party that, caused a lot of people to talk about it, You remember him?
Sure.
Yeah. He has retired. He made a promise that he's going to retire at age 40.
Wow.
And just as he celebrated his 40th birthday, he has retired. And he said one of his dreams is to empower young people to, own up their own businesses. And so now that he's on retirement, he's going to ensure that he, creates that opportunity for young people to learn how to become as rich as he is, so I think we can't wait for that opportunity, because I want to be
looking
rich.
Forward to
I don't know if it's about washing plates and I would have to travel out and go and wash plates so that I become rich.
You be doing jobs. Okay, so do you have your digitalized newspapers for today too?
No.
Okay, so then let's go quickly into, do you have any more trending stories before we go into the online news?
No, the rest are business related, and we will talk more. There's a news about Treasury bill, and also Ghana hitting the gold reserve has really gone up. So we'll give more updates on the business segment.
Okay, so don't forget to send in your comments to our WhatsApp number displayed on your screen, or your questions and any shout outs as well, or to our YouTube and Facebook live stream as well. You can send in your comments there, we'll read them out loud. So into the online news, the first story here says the Energy Ministry denies the return of Doomsaw and attributes it to power outages. Okay, so it attributes power outages to isolated faults. Sorry. So the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, Isaac Ejekwache, has dismissed claims of a return of Dumso, which is the erratic power supply, attributing recent power outages to isolated issues such as faulty cables rather than a broader generation problem. Now, he emphasized that these outages were localized, and he also cited specific incidents like the Koko Beach and Nungwa. Kwachi has assured the public that these were technical problems being addressed and not a sign of widespread power crisis. The ministry, he also added, is actively working to maintain a stable power supply through the ongoing stakeholder meetings.
Well, yesterday when I saw the story, I don't want to say I was disappointed, but you know, sometimes it's good to keep quiet. Sometimes it's good to talk. In this case, I feel this comment did not really serve its purpose, because telling us that Dumso is not back and that is because of, you know, technical issues or faults really got a lot of Ghanaians talking, because we can contextualize this in a broader space and looking at the power experiences of Ghanaians. Over the years, we've seen how, you know, power outages have turned out to be in Ghana. We've become used to it. Let me say that way. We've become used to it. So the moment your lights goes off, you know it is Dumso. Like, it happens frequently, right? So I think the minister should have just gone straight to addressing the issue rather than tell us that it is, you know, technical issues. We are having technical issues, because you can't tell me that where I stay, I think after every 2 days our lights goes off. So
maybe
it has become,
the fault is major there.
no, it has become like a schedule. So we know that, oh, today we have lights, so in 2 days time it will definitely go off. So because of that, I even have the power bank. So I'm just saying,
I mean, if you're an African, you cannot be African and not have a power bank. Hey.
Well, it's good that they've identified places where they are, you know, highly experiencing this, which shows that they are effectively going to work towards it. But you can't tell us that the rest of Ghanaians that are also experiencing this should wait till you fix this place and then come and fix them. So sometimes it's good that you keep quiet on issues and just solve them.
Well, keeping quiet also now makes it like you are seeing what's happening and you don't care. Why are you quiet?
Let your actions show.
First of all, what is wrong if Dumso is back? We know Dumso has been around for decades, and each administration comes and tries their very best to solve the issue. You are a new government that has come into power. You've inherited a series of problems. Why do you want to isolate yourself from the term Dumso? I mean, yes, the opposition will come and say all kinds, but you know the truth. Okay, we have issues with power supply. You don't necessarily need to come and try to, for lack of a better term, lick our brains that it is just power
one will admit
issues. It is Dumso. Let us just be honest. Dumso is basically erratic power supply. Whether it's a fault, whether it's a generational issue, it is still power supply being erratic. So at least tell us, okay, there are problems here and there, but you don't need to even mention, if you don't want to talk about Dumso at all, then don't mention it and say things like it is not Dumso, it's just some, you know,
so
faults here
it goes back to keeping quiet.
Just fix the issue. Tell us, yes, there are problems. We are still dealing with problems for decades now, and we are solving them. But don't try to make it look as though it is something political, you know.
Okay, so the comments was not from the minister.
It was from the
from the PR.
Sure, sorry.
Yeah, so, and with the issue of, from his comments, he said, when we talk about Dumso, talks about the aspect of generation of power or distribution of power to the entire country. That is from his point of view. So he made a statement that a part of Nungwa was having issues with light, and another part was having light. So when you have issues like this, then to him, he doesn't see it as Dumso, but he sees it as area issues or some kind of place which are having localized faults. That was the reason he gave. I also want to say, I have a friend who is at Takwatam, so we spoke, that was last week. She said they've been without light for the past 1 month. They've been without light. So what is the reason? She made him understand the reason was that their transformer got bent. 2 transformers at Takwatam, so got bent. That is the former deputy Minister for Minerals. That's his constituency. So it got bent, and the reason is if ECG is supposed to just come and repair that transformer at Stakotam, so until now they've not been able to repair. They just sent one transformer, and the other one is yet to be sent to them so that they get their light back again. So if he's talking from the point of localized fault, one way or the other, fine, people would understand him, but generally we don't understand, because Yaira, there is a news out that came out somewhere in the month of March and also in April from the Public Utility Workers Union. They were calling on group to ask them why are they not responding to the issue of Dumso, because it's Greco that supplies, they generate the power and give it to ECG for distribution. So if there is any issue, then Greco should answer to it. So they wrote to Greco that why are they not responding to this? And Greco responded somewhere 18th of March. No, 18th of April. This is what they said. They said that to them, they've already communicated to ECG that the power generated is not in large quantity to be able to supply or power electricity in the whole country. So they should what we call load management. They've communicated to ECG on a lot of situations.
So
but
is
ECG,
the load management similar to what we know as load shedding?
Yeah, so load management is basically let people know that this point in time, there's the amount of power that is coming to customers, so that customers will be ready for it. But if you don't tell them, you keep it. They gave instance that on March, let me quote it, on March 18th to March 21st, they just took off the TAFO feeders out of service due to ECG's failure to properly implement load management instructions. But this resulted in a system frequency drop to a critical level of 49.47 Hz. So as a result of ECG not complying to what Gridco said, they need to take off TAFO from the feeders out. That wasn't just the only issue. On 20th of March 2024, okay, this is 2024, again, 2024, he said that as a result of ECG not also responding, Gridco equally took off Tema, Winneba, Kaswa, and Kumasi from this situation somewhere in March 2024. So meaning that when you go to ECG and Gridco, there are internal issues that need to be resolved. And if they're unable to resolve this issue, at the end of the day, we know ECG because they are in charge of distribution of power. And Gridco is saying that this is the situation, so let Ghanaians know. So I think the issue here should be communication and let them resolve the internal issues that they have so that Ghanaians would have a good or trust in our distributor of electricity. This issue affects what we call the new regulation or new utility tariff introduced, which is going to be implemented within this month or going to take effect. Because if I don't get what I need, why should I keep on paying? If my consumption, or you don't meet my consumption, why do you expect me to pay the increment that you have introduced into it? So they should tell ECG that if they don't put things in its right place, consumers or ordinary Ghanaians will not respond just easily to what they want us to pay. Increment of about 30 or 20% or 40% electricity, but we don't get it as Mimi is saying. 2 days light off and all these kind of issues. They need to resolve it.
My colleague in the office, she lives somewhere around Ashalibuche, and for some months now she's been complaining that the power outages are just too much, and it's for long periods of time, over 12 hours even, and it begs the question, is it really a localized fault or truly there is doomsday again? Because if certain parts of Accra are experiencing such power outages and you're telling us it's localized faults, and some people have even been experiencing this for over a month, what is being done?
That's the question we need to ask. Because at the end of the day, it is we, the citizens, that are going to suffer. Regardless of the fact that we'll come out and talk and complain. If you don't pay, you sleep in darkness. So it's like we don't even have a voice. So they just come and then they, make things look formalized. Oh, we are working. That's why I said sometimes it's good to just keep quiet and do the action. Resolve your issues and let us enjoy our lives because we are paying for it.
And also, let's also tell ordinary Ghanaians, those who are not paying, those who are doing illegal connections. Because all these things would cause ECG, in terms of revenue generation, and they will not be able to pay for their cost incurred in terms of fixed costs and variable costs. So all these things need to be checked, that ordinary Ghanaian will pay for whatever he or she consumes.
With the way this issue is going, if it gets worse from here, we will probably become like Nigeria, where you pass through Accra and all you can hear is just generators all over. Everybody has their personal generator.
But we've been there before.
And then fuel becomes an issue. Well, we're hoping news comes in that they are doing something substantial about the issue. So we have a comment here. Hello, Koko Digest. Good morning. Great team. Watching you live from Kenya. This is Miss Wejime is my name. Okay, thank you so much. Now, the next story here is about Galamsey. So it says here, delayed state of emergency could hurt Mahama's government, and this is by Inusa Fuseni. So former member of parliament for Tamale Central, Honorable Inusa Fuseni, has urged the president to declare a state of emergency on illegal mining in water bodies and forest reserves, citing the severe environmental and public health risks posed by the practice. He urged that such a declaration would freeze the existing mining licenses and allow the government to take immediate action to reclaim affected areas. Fuseni emphasized that delaying action could damage the affected areas, could damage Mahama's administration legacy, making the government's response to illegal mining a key issue in its tenure. He also reminded the government of its past promise to repeal the legislative instrument LI 2462, which allows mining in forest reserves, and stressed the importance of fulfilling these commitments for moral integrity. Galamsey is back here. I remember we spoke about, I think when the change of government was starting, the 8th Parliament had some businesses they needed to attend to before handing over to the next Parliament. And yes, the LI 2462 was a major part of it. So what is happening now? Has it not been repealed?
No, it hasn't been. This is why a lot of people think it is a joke when this government says they are going to fight Galamsey. Because how do you fight Galamsey when the law that permits people to work in, water reserves is still, existing? So as a serious government, I think if this was really like a pressing issue to them, it should have been solved by now, or it has to go through processes. I know that's what people will say. It has to go through processes and other things, but that was a promise you made to us. And if Mahama delays, I don't know, but if he delays, they're going to use it against him.
Yeah, well, that's what Honorable Fuseni is also saying.
Yes.
And for the fact that we've heard about some moves being made towards Galamsey, we even heard some licenses were even revoked and things. I think they are taking baby steps, but we want larger strides in handling this Galamsey issue, because the previous government, a lot of people came out to protest these strikes and things were on. Now this new government has come. We are hoping that at least they've had some sort of sit down with among themselves about what to do or what the way it is with these issues, so that when they come into power, they can also do something about it. Because yes, the state of emergency is very, very necessary. Because I remember when the Galamsey issue came up, we heard that about 60% of our water bodies have been affected. And if that is more than half. And if 60% of our water bodies have been affected now, how soon till it's 100%?
So on the issue of Galamsey, and listen to Honorable Inusa Fuseni, the LI 2462 was, I remember, UTAG, organized labor, all this workers union went on strike.
Yeah,
they wanted to go on strike because of such things. One of the major requirements was the repeal of LI 2462. And I remember the then NDC, when they were campaigning, made a promise to this country that when they come to office, they will make sure that the LI 2462 is being revoked and just strike off. What is all about this LI 2462? It is all about environmental protection regulation, and it permits people to mine in forest reserves. Unlike previously the regulation to mine in forest reserve was very, very strict. So we hardly see people in our forest reserve. But introduction of LI 2462 gave the president the power to just license or give people the permit to mine in this forest reserve. So people got to know that if you give the key to someone to open the door, then it's so easy for the person to go to the room and take whatever it's in the room, whether it belongs to him or not. So that is why Ghanaians are saying that just take the key from them. So if you take the key from them, they don't get access to it again. And if they don't get access to it again and you go to the room and you realize they are there, it means what? They are criminals. That is when you can deal with them accordingly. But we got to hear that this government don't want to repeal, but they want to review. They want to review this I-2462. And a lot of CSOs and ordinary Ghanaians have spoken against this, that this is not what you told us, and this is not what we want. What are you reviewing? And they are saying they have a good things they think it's in this LI-2462. But the whole issue is let's repeal it. Because after repealing and you have anything you want to do, pick it and add it to. After they are doing constitutional review, you can just add it to it and it's become part of the new constitution that we want. On the issue of, so it was not repealed in the previous parliament, and the process needs to start again. Because that is what the parliamentary rule says. So I think listening to some of the members of parliament and ministers, they made it known that when parliament comes back, after they're on recess and they return somewhere ending of May to June. So when they come back, they will make sure they are going to lay this instrument again before the House, and they will make sure that it is going to be repealed. We are following keenly. And we expect the president and this administration to do the needful, because it's a promise. You promised us Ejumera, you promised us coders whatsoever. So you asked us to repeal this. Let's do accordingly. On the issue of state of emergency, I just want to say something more about that. Initially, when they were in opposition under the administration of Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, NDC made us understand when they come to office, they will declare state of emergency. I don't think that they are now reviewing what they said. They knew about it before they came to office. Because it's, as people will say, it is not new to them. They were in government before. They know issues about Galamsey, and they understand the meaning of state of emergency. So before you came to office, you knew about this. So if you made a promise, the question is, what is keeping? What is waiting? Let Ghanaians know. If you are working on it, let us know. If you are not going to do it again, let us know. And why I told the state of emergency, I was listening to some people, especially the coalition for anti-Galamsey, and the reason they gave for this state of emergency is that if we declare state of emergency on the water bodies or these forest places, what it means that nobody is supposed to go there. So if you prevent people from not going there, it means that the forest or the water bodies would have no pollution or at that point in time. So if soldiers or military men go there and they found that other people are violating the law, so you can deal with them accordingly. But now there's no state of emergency declared. There's no issue of LI-2462 being repealed. What is the meaning? People can still mine. And you think when the tap is not closed, when you think the tap is not closed, assuming this place, there is leakage in the room, and you don't work on the leakage, and you keep on cleaning or mopping the floor, what do you think you are doing? It's nothing. So we just want to appeal to the government and to the Ministry of Mines and Natural Resources, Ministry of Environment and Science and Technology, that they should make sure that they do what they promise Ghanaians.
Because if they don't do that too, then they stand the risk of making serious issues in the country into a political gimmick, just promises just to get into power, and then you get there, and then now that, you know, that term after election there's no campaign, then it becomes as though you were just trying to get us to vote for you, and then you get into power and you ignore us. But we have a few comments.
Before you come to the comments, I wouldn't say the government has not done well. They have done
well.
When they came to office, it's just 4 months. And look at the strategies laid down for fighting Galamsey. They've really done well.
But we need larger strikes.
We need larger strikes. For example, there's a brewing in Kran that got bent. It was there 2 years, 3 years ago under the old administration. So if now they've been able to take this decision, it's a good thing. We want them to do more.
Yeah, and even
Yes.
the Abraham Lincoln that you mentioned, it fits into the analogy you gave that sometimes when you give someone a chance, then because the LI 2462 says that people can mine in these forest
Yeah.
reserves.
Exactly.
Now people have actually gone to form a whole community there.
Yeah.
You know?
Destroying it.
Whole community.
Wow.
Some even think, declaring a state of emergency is too extreme, that Mahama should relax.
Relax.
But I mean, if our water bodies are being destroyed, and
Posterity will not forgive us.
seriously, so they should take it easy and relax.
So the best option is in the declaration of state of emergency, there should be some measures put in place for these communities as to how to help them fend for
survive,
themselves and survive, because of course some of them do depend on these water bodies and forest reserves for their livelihoods, work and feeding as well. So I'm sure they know how to do all of these. We don't need to tell them how to do their job. So we have comments here. So HM Joe says, good morning, Koko Digest ladies and gentlemen. Doomso is real now. So our energy ministry says localized fault. HM Joe again says there was Stop Galamsey demo yesterday by Okatachi Ifrif. Okay, thank you so much for your comments. This brings us to the end of the online and newspaper review. Next is the lifestyle segment. So Miriam, power of a woman's voice. Give us a little just what to expect.
So basically, we've realized that most women, are always hiding behind men because we feel it's a man's world. We don't really have a voice when it comes to decision taking and even making. And so today we want to break that, psychology.
I think I don't agree. They are not
Women hiding.
They are not hiding behind.
So
I don't believe they
okay. So
behind.
if women are not hiding, then we are just here to encourage them to go on with their confidence, their strength, their strides. Hey, Ira, why? Are you coming to beat us? So they should just stay and enjoy our conversation. It promises to be exciting.
Thank you so much. So business segment, what should we expect from you two?
Yes, you're right. We are going to bring them business news. And next week, we are going to a report from Bank of Ghana regarding fraud activities in the banking sector. Next week, we will have an extensive discussion on it because people are losing their money through fraud, scammers, day in and day out. So next week, we will have a very detailed discussion on this very topic.
That's very,
Yes,
very
we'll do that.
important because the issue of scam has become like something that everybody is talking about, and we really need proper education. If not, some of the telcos, you are going with them.
Yes.
I'm
So,
moving to tell you.
so yes, still on women, the main discussion would also be talking about the women in poultry value chain. So yes, do stay tuned for that. So after hearing about how to empower women's voices, and then you come to women entrepreneurship in poultry farming. So
that you get employment.
Right after this break, we will be right back with you too.
the host, I can decide on which song to be played before my segment starts. But that was just by the way. I welcome you back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. I am Miriam Abena Adede, and that was With You by Davido and Omale. It is my favorite song, actually. Right, so today we are discussing something very important that has to do with women. I mean, when we talk about confidence, when we talk about finding your voice, when we talk about, walking through your journey to getting to your destination, that is the conversation we are going to be talking about, the power of a woman's voice. And I'm doing this with an amazing personality. He's a prolific writer, author. He is, the convener of In the Voice of a Woman conference. And so it promises to be an exciting time here on the Koko Digest Morning Show. So my guest is Pastor Mark Ekoteria. I didn't want to mention the pastor, but anyways, hello.
Oh.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, I'm also grateful to be here.
Okay. So let's get straight into the conversation. You are the convener of In the Voice of a Woman conference,
Yes,
right?
please.
How long have you been doing this?
Okay, I think this year will be my 4th year.
Your 4th year?
Yes, please.
Okay,
yeah.
so you are the right person to talk about this topic, right? The power of a woman's voice. To you personally, what would you say it means when we say a woman has found her voice? Like, you have a voice.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm so grateful to be here. First and foremost, we want to thank our viewers for watching us, and also thank you for the opportunity to be here. So first and foremost, when we talk about a woman finding her voice, I will say one thing, which has to do with purpose discovery.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we say a woman has found her voice, it means that that woman has discovered the reason why she was created by God. That is the first thing that every lady must understand and know. Because every lady is a product of purpose.
Okay.
And when you find your purpose in life, you will find a place to occupy on this earth. That is where your voice will be heard. So the ladies who are making waves with their voices are people who have actually discovered the reason why they were created by God. Because when you find purpose, you find your voice, because that is where you shine. So basically, when we say a woman has found her voice, it means that she has discovered her purpose in life.
Okay.
That is not the only thing. Now, the second thing I would say when a woman has found a purpose has to do with vision. Because vision gives you a voice in the future. Vision has a voice, it speaks. So when a woman has discovered her voice in life, it means that that woman has a vision for her life. Now, the third thing I would say has to do with identity discovery or self-discovery. How you know who you are. When you know who you are as a lady, you have a voice on this earth. And so these are the three things I would say.
If I allow you mention a lot of things. Staying on self-identity, we are in a society or even a country where women are always belittled. Like, we create that self-doubt for people. And so if you're a woman and you even have great ideas to bring on board, you feel that this idea, it might not be, appreciated. It might not be, leveled as that of a man's idea. So that is self-doubt. To you, how do you think women can overcome, that self-doubt within them?
So, to answer that question, we say that women are belittled. I don't think so. I don't think women are belittled. I think it is self-imposed, something that women have taken upon themselves, that they are belittled. And also, I don't have problems with we giving ladies opportunity to serve in various capacity, especially in the world.
Okay.
The problem has to do with, do you have what it takes? You have the capacity to manage that position that you are going for. So I don't have a problem when ladies are given higher positions in life. Are you capable enough to be able to handle that position?
That is the question
That is the question. So I don't have problem with...
But don't you think maybe they are just taking a risk? I know I'm a woman, but I cannot go for the position of a president because we haven't had a female president before. I'm doubting myself.
No, who told you? It's like in the Garden of Eden when Adam and Eve sinned against God, and the Bible said that God came into the garden in the cool of the day, and he called Adam. He said, Adam, where are you? He said, I'm naked. And God asked him a question, who told you that you are naked? That is self-doubt.
Okay.
So who told you? So who told you that you can be a president? You can be a president. So, but do you have the capacity to be able to become a president? That is the problem. So I believe it is self-imposed, something that ladies have taken upon themselves, that, okay, I can't do this, I can't do that. Because I've had encounter with a lot of ladies, and when you tell them that you can do something, the question they ask themselves is that, can I do it? And so it has nothing to do with society in terms of what we think. I believe it is something that is personal.
So how do we overcome that?
Okay, so life is lived inside out. Okay. Life is not lived outside in.
That's
so
deep.
Everything that you need to do or have in life is already inside of you. So in building self-confidence, it's something that is already inside of you. Because when God created, he placed it in you. Now, in identity, you have to understand that identity is so important that the first thing God gave to us was his image, which has to do with identity. So everything that you need is already inside of you. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
So everything that you need is inside of you. So the self-confidence we are talking about is already inside of you. You have to discover it. Now, how do you discover it? One, you don't have to compare yourself to one another.
Okay.
So we are in a dispensation where ladies are comparing themselves to each other. And Bible said that they that compare themselves to each other are not wise. So one sign of foolishness is comparison. So if you're a lady, you don't have to compare yourself to another person. Okay. Now, when we will stay on this thing, then maybe we move forward. When we talk about comparison, it means that you are ranking someone or something against another and allowing that ranking to determine value. But no one is supposed to be a standard. For instance, Miriam is not a standard for, let me say, beauty. Okay. Or Miriam is not a standard for self-confidence. So you need to understand that everybody is different. That is why it is important as a lady to be able to discover the reason why you're on earth, which has to do with your purpose. And secondly, you have to know who you are in discovering, in building self-confidence. Because when you ask a lot of ladies, who are you? It's a question I can tell you boldly.
Yeah.
A lot of ladies cannot answer that question.
Okay.
Because when you ask them, who are you? The first thing that comes into their mind is their name. But that is not who you are. Who you are is more than knowing your name.
Okay.
So it is something that is within. It is something that is within. So building self-confidence, you have to stop comparing yourself. And another thing is that you have to accept yourself.
Okay.
Accept who you are.
It's a very difficult thing for people to do, accepting who they are or accepting the kind of situation they find themselves in, because they feel, why is Amma doing better than me? Why can't I be like Amma?
So that's the comparison I'm talking about.
Yeah. Now,
when you try to compare your abilities and your position to each other, you lose focus of yourself. We are not supposed to compare our potential. The Bible said that God gave us abilities. God gave us abilities according to our several capacities.
Sure.
So what you can do, I cannot do, and what I can do, you cannot do. Yeah. So we are not supposed to compare potentials and our abilities.
Okay.
What Miriam is doing, that is, Miriam has, let me say, she has discovered her field, and that is why she is shining. Why don't you also discover your own and shine over there?
Exactly. So let's move to societal expectations. You know, we are in a society where we are talking about women, so I'll definitely use women as an example. So they say women should get married at a particular age. Women should, you know, do this particular job. When we talk about marriage, it's a serious issue for women. So we feel we are being fixed in, you know, a tight corner as women, that if you cross 30, you cannot get married. That is the societal expectations. And so because of that, most women are not being true to themselves. Some people even lie at their ages. We are in a society where we see women, you know, enhancing their bodies just to stay relevant in the eyes of men. How can women be true to themselves?
The problem is only one. And the solution to it is only one.
Okay.
The most important thing in life as a woman, not even women per se, everybody in life, but especially when it comes to women. I wrote a book, The Hidden Secret of a Woman, and I wrote about 4 things. Okay. Just 4. The first one has to do with, why are you on earth?
Okay.
It's a question you must ask. Marriage is not by force, and marriage is not compulsory. And it's not everybody who is supposed to marry. And that is something that we don't know. And we are forcing marriage on people. I get what I'm saying. So yes. If you're a woman and you are 30, 34, 35, perhaps the reason why God created you to come on this earth may be not to get married.
Hey, then to do what?
No, so we have to understand people. We have to let people understand that marriage is not for everyone.
Okay.
That is the first thing you must know. That marriage is not for everyone.
Okay.
And there's no specific age that you are supposed to get married. It is society that has made it so.
Okay.
I get me. So when you read the book of Matthew chapter 19, let me confirm this with the scripture that marriage is not for everyone. Okay. So if you are not married, don't feel like, because marriage is not an achievement. Let me say this too. Marriage is not an achievement. Nobody gets married and the person receives an award. So because it's not an achievement and you don't receive an award because you get married, you don't have to force people into marriage.
Okay.
So if you're a lady and you are not married, don't allow society. We are allowing society to take hold of us, and that is the problem. Society should not determine your value in life. It should not determine your happiness, what you are supposed to do, and all that. So there's no specific time to get married. And typically, a Ghanaian lady is not mature to married enough when she's not even up to 28. That is me. Yeah. So they should calm down.
They should calm down.
Yeah. So just discover your purpose and know the reason why you're on earth. Follow through it, go through it, pursue it, and trust me, you'll be fine.
And that is Pastor Mark giving it to us here on the lifestyle segment. And if you just joined us, we are discussing the power of a woman's voice. And I'm doing this with Pastor Mark, who is so about helping women find their stand in life. And so if you just joined, you can send in your comments to our WhatsApp number, which is displayed on your screen right now. And we'll ask Pastor Mark for you. Pastor Mark, I have this question here. Okay. So this is from, my name is Sewa from Ashaman. Please ask Pastor Mark, if he's saying marriage is not for everyone, then what should we do as women? Because my mother keeps telling me to get married, and if by age 35 I'm not married, my life is going to be a waste. So I know Sewa is talking for a lot of women out there. So that's why I talk about societal expectations and we being fixed in a corner, because it looks as if it is just marriage we are here for. We were brought on earth to get married.
So you were brought on this earth to get married. And the person who brought you on this earth is saying that this marriage is not for everyone. Okay. According to Matthew chapter 19, marriage is not for everyone. Now, when we allow society expectation to force us to do things that we are not supposed to do, even when it comes to body enhancement, it's like you are distorting God's purpose and God's plan. That is the whole thing. So if you are not married at the age of 35, who said your life is a waste? The only way your life will become a waste is when you are not fulfilling purpose. Okay. Yeah, a wasted life is a life that is not fulfilling purpose.
Okay, so let's hold on there. How can we discover our purpose as people?
That is the foundation. It will solve 99% of your problem on this earth. Okay. I wrote a book, You Are Born to Win, and I wrote in that book that when you discover your purpose in life, you have solved actually 99% of your life greatest worry. Because if you are living without purpose, you are living in frustration. You will not be fulfilled. You will not be satisfied. Even you have to marry on purpose. If you don't marry on purpose, trust me, the marriage will break.
So with the purpose, is it physical purpose or spiritual purpose? Because I know a lot of people will get married because of, maybe the person has money.
No, I wrote a book, The Woman God Gave Me. Okay. And in the last chapter of the book, I wrote 3 things you need to consider before you get married. And the first thing I spoke about is purpose. Okay. When purpose gives you life, and a life before a life partner. So if you don't have a life, you don't need a life partner. Now, when we talk about purpose, purpose simply means the reason why you are living. The reason for something. Now, this phone was made for a reason, for a purpose. To make calls, send text messages. Just imagine I placed this phone on the floor and I started using my leg to hit it like a ball. I'm abusing the thing. Okay. So Dr. Miles Monroe will say that when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. So most of the reasons why ladies are abused in marriage is because even the man that is abusing the woman doesn't even understand the reason for marriage.
I see.
And doesn't even understand the purpose of a woman. So the whole thing has to do with purpose. So I preach this thing from all my conferences. It's my reason. That is what I'm pursuing. Because to even develop your skill, you need purpose. Okay. You can't function everywhere. You can't be good at everything. You are good at something. So you have to be a woman of one thing. So when you have your purpose, trust me, even we men also face it in a sense that, okay, a man is supposed to do this, a man is supposed to do at the age of 30, if you don't do this. So we are causing a lot of suicide in the system. So people are depressed. People are sick without even, we don't know. Because deep within, there are a lot of things that is going on. So some people are wounded, you want them to go and marry. Are you getting me? So as a lady listening to us this morning, the most important thing that you need to know and discover in life is your purpose.
Okay.
Just find it. And you'll be fine. Trust me.
Okay.
It will surprise the marriage you will even follow. Because men are even looking for women who are purposeful. If you are not purposeful, trust me, no good man will find you.
Hey. If you are not purposeful, no good woman will find you. Okay, let's take a few comments and then we'll continue. So this is from Aaron inside Pokwase, and he's saying, God bless you, Pastor Mark. I wish my girlfriend could see this interview. I'm really learning a lot. Thank you, Aaron, for joining us. This is also from, my name is Albert. I'm watching you inside at Chimota. A great conversation over there. Thank you so much, Mimi, and your guests. Okay. Thank you too for watching us. But Pastor Mark, let me ask you, why are you so passionate about women? Why? What about women fascinates you that you always want to, because it's hard to find, pushing, women agenda?
Okay, so that is a question a lot of people ask me when it comes to my writing.
Yeah.
So there are three things. They make me sad, they make me angry, and they make me happy at the same time.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I do ladies' food.
Okay.
They make me sad, they make me angry, and they make me happy. But that is just by the way. I believe God has a reason for every woman. Yeah, I believe God has a reason for every woman. And that is what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah, my own is not to make women to become disrespectful, let me say, arrogant. No. I want women to understand that there's a place for them.
Place for them.
And I always say that if women get it right, we'll be fine. I'm telling you the truth.
Everyone will be fine.
We'll be fine. Including marriage, everyone will be fine. So women are a problem and a solution at the same time. So we have to solve the problem. When we solve the problem, trust me, we'll be fine. When it comes to men, it is difficult to handle a man. What a man needs from a woman is not much. But what a woman needs from a man is a lot. We'll
talk about that another time, but I have another question here. This is, okay, so he says, how can women use their voices to advocate for social justice and create positive change in their communities? Kudos, Mimi, in watching you from South Africa. Adra Bento is my name, okay? So this is from our Facebook page.
Okay.
How can women use their voices to advocate for social justice and create positive change in their communities?
So I wrote a book. In the Voice of a Woman is a book I wrote. That was actually my first book I wrote in 2019. So in that book, I explain into details how a woman can be able to use her voice to make impact. Yeah. Because I said that God has given women a lot of gifts. Okay. But the greatest gift God gave to women is their voice.
Okay.
So, and there are just two wavelengths in the voice of a woman. Either you are making positive impact with it or you are making a negative impact with it.
Okay.
Because the first time a man listened to the wife, man experienced a fall. So in the book of Genesis, Bible says God came to the garden and said that because you listen to the voice of your woman or your wife, that is why. And another instance in the Bible when Sarah was talking to Abraham and she made a certain statement. Abraham didn't want to listen to Sarah, but God came and told Abraham that listen to your wife.
Okay.
The first time he listened, something bad happened. The next time God is telling him that he should listen to the voice of his wife. So if you want to make an impact with your voice, trust me, I will still say this thing again. You have to discover your purpose and know your place in life. And you have to also know your place in the life of a man.
Okay.
Another thing about women is that even women that are advocating for social justice, they are not even one. They are even comparing themselves to each other. So since you guys are fighting each other, how can you all come together to advocate for what you want? Are you getting me? Yeah. So they have to even solve a problem among themselves. So discover your purpose, find your place, and trust me, you make an impact.
discover your purpose, find your place, and you will make an impact. We'll be wrapping up shortly. Let me take this last question. So, good morning, Koko Digest. My question is, what role do you think a woman's voice plays in shaping cultural narratives and challenging stereotypes? Okay, so what role do you think a woman's voice plays in shaping cultural narratives and challenging stereotypes? I think we addressed that earlier when I was talking about the expectations society, has of women and other things. But how can a woman use her voice to shape those narratives, those expectations? You've said it, but you can reiterate again. Maybe the person just joined us later.
Let me say this. Now, what do you want as a woman? That is the first thing.
Yeah.
You must be able to define your goals. And you must be able to define your vision. That this is what I want. So if this is what you want and you know that it is in line with your purpose, they will give you a place. You will still have a place. There are women who are doing so well.
Yeah.
We have women president in other countries. So we have our first female vice president. Yeah. She's a professor. So just find your place. Yeah, just find your place. There are some women in Ghana here I admire so much. For instance, let me say the deputy managing director for Ghana Airport, the current one, Honorable Bobia, and the special aide to John Mama, Honorable Joyce Bauer. When you listen to them carefully, you realize that they've actually found they are not in a hurry to please anybody.
Exactly.
So and they are fine. They are good to go.
Yeah.
So why are you trying to? You want to get to the top. How do you define the top? That is the thing. So just define what you want. Go for it. And use the right means to get it.
Exactly. So my last question will have to do with our workplaces. There is this stereotype about leadership, that men are supposed to take the lead and then women follow. But now it has changed. But at some places it's still there. So how can women use their voices to, advocate for each other so they can all rise together at the top?
So I said something earlier on that I don't have a problem with we give you the position to lead. You have the capacity to lead.
We can lead. We can lead.
Hey.
Just give us the platform, we will lead.
Yeah, do a survey. So I like to do a survey. Talk to young ladies. Look at what is going on social media. Look at our young ladies. When I see it, saddens my heart.
TikTok challenge.
I heard something, teleportation.
Hey.
I was like, even this morning I was talking to my junior brother. He came back from Kenya. I was like, Gideon, can you imagine what is going on social media? It's so sad. Like everybody wants to become a celebrity or a star. Celebrate, what are we celebrating about you?
I'm popular.
So when there's a difference,
I have a lot of followers, so I'm a celebrity.
It doesn't mean you are great.
So that's the difference.
Yeah, there's a difference between greatness and fame. You can be famous, but you are not great.
Okay.
Most of the great people, we don't see them. Yeah, you don't see them. People are doing things, but we are not seeing them.
Yeah.
Are you getting me? They say empty barrels makes the most noise. And so the fact that you're on social media and making noise, sometimes when you see people on TV set and all that, you think they have money. But trust me, they don't have anything. Yeah, so but the people who have money, they are quiet. If you tell me, if I dress in a certain way and you tell me that you don't have money, I don't have to argue with you.
Yeah.
You don't know my bank account. So there's no need to come and impress you with the... Now let me talk to the ladies about this whole materialistic thing and beauty and all that. We spoke about confidence. Let me just chip in this because of what I'm saying. There's a difference between content and container. When we look at you, the container is nice. So I always say to these ladies, when you see them, they are beautiful, but deep within them, they are not nice. When you talk to them, realize that if you want to know someone, just have a conversation with the person. You realize that the person is shallow. And these are the kind of people we want to marry. And these are the kind of people who want to give birth and raise our children. A woman is supposed to raise a generation. I wrote in the book, in the voice of a woman is supposed to raise a whole generation, a destiny, not just a child. So just look at our ladies, what they are learning. So if sometimes the men are not coming close because you are not appealing enough. If you want to know someone, just get close to the person, have a conversation with the person. You realize that this is how the ladies think. So the problem has nothing to do with the roles are there. It's there. You can do it, but do you have the capacity to do it? They say they can do it. Are you sure? Have you built yourself enough? How many books have they read this year? Now you don't have no value for knowledge. And if you have no value for knowledge, you cannot go far. The people who are making it, when you listen to them, they are talking, realize that, wow, these are the kind of people. But because of social media, so we have followers and people are, so they think they are there. Small money we have, no, we think we are there. But that is not it. When it comes to leadership, it's a whole thing. It's not easy to lead. If they give you this whole organization as a CEO, can you lead? With what? you are sleeping, every day you are sleeping, you say you want to lead. Even the ability to even think is a problem.
There are issues.
There are issues. So the ladies, they have a lot of problems.
Yeah, so Pastor Mark is just saying you need to identify your purpose if you want to really go far, because in the voice of a woman means that all the strength of a woman's voice is dependent on the value she carries. And so if you want to be valuable, you need to make sure that you are deep. Pastor Mark, you have an upcoming program, an amazing program in the Voice of a Woman conference. Let's talk about it. What inspired it?
Okay, so it's a whole story, but let me just cut it short.
Briefly.
As I said, I don't know, but it's something that is in me. When I see ladies, I feel like I should be able to help them. Yeah, especially because I don't like men take advantage of our ladies. And trust me, I don't like it when I see a man beating a woman. I don't like it. It has happened several times that I want to confront the man. I don't like it. So I just want to give ladies a lot of information. Which has to do with, there are 4 things. Why are you on earth? 2, where are you going? 3, who are you? And the 4th one is, what can you do?
So what should participants anticipate for this program?
So we will talk about how to discover your purpose.
Okay.
How to know who you are, how to write a vision for your life, and to help you to know what you can do.
Okay.
So these are basically the 4 things. That is what I do.
Why is it happening when in the theme?
So it's happening on the UCC campus, University of Koko.
Oh, okay, my school.
So the time is 8:30 a.m. in the morning, Saturday, 17th of May.
17th of May, okay.
And we are having the former Pro Vice Chancellor of University of Cape Coast, Professor Dora. Okay. We are having Professor Abigail Gura from Takrady Technical University, who is also the Dean of Faculty of Business Studies. And we have one lawyer, Dr. Otu, and myself, I'll be there. Trust me, and you will love it. The team is, she has
flaws. Yeah. Wow.
How embracing your weaknesses can unlock your strength. Okay. And it's actually a book I've been written, and I will launch it on that very day. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pastor Mark. No so finally, if you are to leave a woman or any woman watching us this morning, what would that message be?
So the first thing I would say is that discover the reason why you invest in yourself, and don't compare yourself to anyone. And trust me, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
So Pastor Mark is saying, discover why you were born and do not compare yourself with anyone, and trust him, you will be fine. Pastor Mark Ekolteria was our guest for the lifestyle segment. He is a prolific author and the convener of In the Voice of a Woman conference. Thank you so much, Pastor Mark, for making it on the show. Now up next is our birthday segment, where we get to celebrate amazing personalities. So stay with us, we'll be right back.
I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday.
Anja, welcome back. Now let's get straight into business. Who is our first birthday celebrant? Okay. A glorious birthday to Ebenezer Madugu of Atenka TV, my very own Ebenezer. God richly bless you. You're such an amazing person. God bless your new age and prosperity, with prosperity and greatness. This is from me to you, Madugu. A happy birthday to Dickness Sophia Annabelle Kofi. God richly bless you, Mommy, for all you do for the family and the church. We love you so much. This is from your lovely family. And this is also to, okay, so a happy birthday, young blood. The joy you have brought to me is immeasurable. I pray that the good Lord lifts you and bless you abundantly for me. This is from your parents. This is also to Nanaya Alice. Happy birthday, Angel. I'm thankful to God. I'm thankful God brought you into my life. Wishing you overflowing blessings, supernatural breakthroughs, and a year filled with amazing testimonies. This is from James. Is it our very own James? Hey, Jamie. And this is also to Victoria. A happy birthday to you, my safe haven. Wishing a beautiful person a beautiful birthday. Today, let's raise and toast to you. Happy birthday to an incredible person. Victoria of Newsroom, we wish you a happy birthday. Clock TV wishes you a happy birthday. You're so beautiful. Happy birthday to Flora. A happy birthday, my dear friend. May you be blessed with good health, love, and all your heart's desires in the year ahead and always. And we also have this, a happy glorious birthday to Christian Lebrecht, Mom, Hayes. May the good Lord grant to you all your heart's desires. Have a great day and always know I love you. This is from your beautiful Queen Yuri. Queen Yuri wishes you a happy birthday. Thank you so much for bringing in your birthday messages. We're expecting more from you, so we celebrate with you on Thursday. I am Miriam Adede. Up next is the business and sports segment. Please stay with us.
Oh, good morning and welcome to the Sports Update segment on the Koko Digest Morning Show. Here we bring you nothing but the best in the world of sports, covering all the action, both local and international. I am your host, Benedict Nketiakwat. Join me as we dive into the sports arena. Now to the headlines. Footy Legends event honors Ghanaian football heroes. CAF president vows to tackle stadium hooliganism. Liverpool announced Premier League victory parade. UEFA Champions League semi-finals. Now to the main story. The Footy Legends organization held a successful event at the Manche Agbonas soccer pitch in Jamestown to honor Ghana former footballers. The event was a vibrant showcase of appreciation. Each legend was presented with a commemorative medal, a symbol of the nation's gratitude for their dedication and skill. Beyond the accolade, the event prioritized the well-being of the former players. Free health screenings were provided, ensuring that these heroes of the game received the care they deserve. Additionally, the Footy Legends organization offered essential groceries, providing practical support to these individuals who have given so much to the country. Let's catch what some of the players had to say about it as they shared their reflections on the event and their careers.
And we are honored here at Clock TV to have one of our great ex-players, that's Sam Johnson, the Foyo man himself here. Daddy, ofane wangabu feel?
Me you know.
Ofane when what about witness great event nete no biane with whereby I appreciate ex-players can it be this initiative
I think actually is a very good initiative. I was not expecting something like this. She senior men. I mean, one of the greatest legends. I wish to, always be around them. Level. I think I got start in it a year or two ago. I start, but gradually, Onakeshi ni enda.
Yeah, Jomo Papa, right way. Was no bar, waba nina, or former big stars. Bename, I'm a boy, Mofiamo, and I wore me. Nick Papa and I'm a fair or come. I'm a mommy Juba in the future. If I feel okay, me advise you New York young guys in bar. Danny can for example. Benjamin Geno.
And then to our next story. CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe has pledged to address the increasing violence at African stadiums. Incidents of match violence, including a tragic event in Guinea last December, and reported deaths during a CAF Champions League match in South Africa, have prompted this action. Motsepe emphasized CAF's commitment to stadium safety and security for fans. He stated that CAF is working with experts to implement effective methods for maintaining order and safety during matches. Now to our international sports news. Premier League champions Liverpool will parade through the city on an open-top bus, it has been announced. The Reds won against Tottenham at Anfield on Sunday to secure their second Premier League title, a record equaling 20th top flight trophy. The bus will set off from Allerton Maze before traveling through a 9-mile route, including Queen's Drive, and the Strand before finishing on Blundell Street. Hundreds of thousands of fans are expected to line the route to celebrate with Ancelotti and his title-winning squad. And now to the road to Munich, the UEFA Champions League semi-finals. We have Arsenal hosting Paris Saint-Germain at the Emirates Stadium today. And tomorrow we have Barcelona hosting Inter Milan. And that is it for sports news. I am your host, Benedict Nketia Kwating. Next is the business segment with Clement.
Good morning, welcome to the Business Update segment. I am Clement Siabankwe, your host. And to today's stories, as of March 31st, 2025, the Bank of Ghana's gold reserve have reached 31.01 tons, reflecting a strategic effort to enhance the country's foreign reserves and monetary stability.
The purchase program is crucial for boosting foreign exchange reserves, fostering confidence and attracting foreign investment. This accumulation is part of a broader strategy to diversify reserve assets, which can strengthen balance of payment, cushion against external shocks, and reinforce the credibility of monetary policy amid tightening global financial conditions. The domestic gold purchase program is crucial for boosting foreign exchange reserves, fostering confidence and attracting foreign investment.
Now, away from that, Dr. Johnson Esiama, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, announced efforts to establish a new legal framework aligned with modern economic realities, supported by the IMF and World Bank. This statement was made during a meeting with Ghana's Finance Minister, Dr. Atufosin, at the IMF Spring Meetings in Washington, D.C.
Dr. Esiama expressed optimism, stating that the Bank of Ghana does not anticipate declaring a loss this year, indicating improved financial management. Also, Dr. Fosin emphasized the importance of using borrowed funds for impactful investment rather than non-productive expenditures. The meeting highlighted the growing presence of Ghanaian professionals in global economic institutions and reinforced the need for collaboration between local leaders and international experts to enhance Ghana's development efforts.
Now on Treasury bill, the recent auction results from the Bank of Ghana revealed that the government exceeded its Treasury bill target by 550 million Ghana cedis. The set target was 6.14 billion Ghana cedis, but total bids reached 7.26 billion Ghana cedis. 570.64 million Ghana cedis bids was rejected.
The 91-day bill, 5.32 Ghana cedis was tendered and 5.21 billion Ghana cedis accepted. The 182-day bill saw 1.56 billion Ghana cedis in bids with 1.29 billion Ghana cedis accepted, while the 364-day bill had 381 million Ghana cedis tendered and 192 million Ghana cedis accepted. Interest rates remain stable, with the 91-day bill yield falling slightly to 15.32%. The government aims to raise 6.32 billion Ghana cedis in the next auction. For the 90.
This is all we have for you on Business Update segment. I am Clement Yabankwe. Do enjoy the rest of the show.
Welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Koko Digest Morning Show, and we're about to have our main discussion. Now, today's main discussion is in two parts. So, the first part is going to be talking about WIPVAC. Now, if you don't know what that is, don't worry, we will explain everything to you. So, this conversation is going to be with the president of WIPVAC. So I'm going to read a little bit of her profile to us, and then we get interactive with her. So she's in the person of Dr. Mrs. Victoria Ifwa-Nogbe, and she is the national president of Women in Poultry Value, which is WIPVAC. Now, she's Premier Best Teacher of Accra in 1995, and she's had over 35 years of experience in poultry farming and education. She's also the recipient of the Ghana Woman of Excellence Award. She's a wife and mother, married for 40 years to Mr. Eric Nogbe. She's also a chartered accountant and a retired deputy commissioner of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us here. And we are really honored to have you, National President of WIPVAC.
Yes.
So, I think today marks the 8th anniversary, right?
Sure.
Yes. Okay. So I'm sure a lot of people don't really know much about WIPVAC. So let's get into it. What is WIPVAC?
Yes. So good morning to your cherished listeners. And thank you for the opportunity and ready to even know more about WIPVAC. WIPVAC is Women in Poultry Value Chain. Why WIPVAC and where is it coming from? WIPVAC is a strategic gender action of African Union Bureau of Animal Resources, AU-IBA. AU-IBA in 2014 ran a project which they call the VET-GOV project for the West African sub-region. And while they were running that project, they realized that most often women were not participating. So along the line, they decided to find out where the women were, whether they were really part of the poultry value chain. We then 10 regions in Ghana. So they contracted a consultant, one Dr. Akunzule and co, who went around the 10 regions of Ghana to bring out at least 3 women they found on the ground involved in the poultry sector. Yes, so it could be by producers, excellence. So the value chain runs across from our breeder house, where we have fertile eggs for hatching to get our day-old chicks, what we are now calling the Koko Kitten branded. Yes, and then we have our members who are aggregating maize and soya, because that's what we need in preparing our feed. And we have other input dealers like those selling feed, the drugs and the vaccines. And those of us who are doing the production. But you know, after production, you must sell. So the XLS are part of the value chain. The processors are part of the value chain until you find the chicken in your shops and in your kitchen. And so the entire value chain cuts across. Of late, byproduct, which is the poultry droppings manure, is even a hot cake. People are involved in the collecting and using this manure in vegetable production, even in the cocoa sector, using it because everybody wants to go organic. So that is how the entire value chain is. And so AU-IBA actually organized a workshop for us between the 23rd up to 27th of April in 2017. Then on 27th April at Mainsville Hotel, this association was given birth to. So that is where we are, Women in Poultry Value Chain, because the name is long. And so we shorten it to be WIPVAC IPES Ghana. Yes.
So is there a specific reason for poultry in particular?
Yes, specific reason for poultry, because already, you know, the poultry sector is a male-dominated area. That is why most of the time it's the men that you see. But if you get to the ground, it's really the women who are down there. They are feeding the birds, they are giving them water, they are cleaning the drinkers, they are sorting and cleaning the eggs for sale and whatever. And you know that in Ghana also, the women population is over 51, 52%. And in the agricultural sector, their activities is even over 70%. doing most of the work. And so it is very important that women are given space within the agricultural terrain, especially the poultry sector. So the formation of the association, like I said earlier on, that women were not really participating. It has brought us to a point where now we have space within the poultry sector. When there are activities, they are inviting the men, and hey, the women are also there, and then they invite us to join.
Okay.
And that is what brought us into the limelight, to have some partners. Hitherto, there was this USDA Ghana Poultry Project that supported us in capacity building, so to do some training to produce some pullets, eggs that pullet birds that could lay eggs for us.
So not to cut you though, but for the abbreviations, we would like you to expand on them so that we can understand. And what is a pullet? I mean, I've read what a pullet is.
Yes, so pullet are those that you have fed up to a point where they start laying eggs.
Okay.
Yes, so between 18 weeks, 19, 20, this Nkiti people start laying eggs. So then before the laying of the eggs, they are pullets.
Okay.
When they start laying, then they are layers.
Okay.
Yes. And so we ran that program with the Ghana Poultry Project. We also ran the same program when the Ghana Poultry Project ended. We ran the same program with GIZ, which is still in progress. GIZ has supported us also to do the same pullet project where we roll out into our regions. We've done for Greater, we've done for Central. Currently, we are in Volta and the Eastern region. I hope that we can also roll it on to the other regions.
Okay.
And so now, last year, the Food System Resilience Project floated an advert to get people into their program. We also applied. They were dealing with anchor farmers and producer groups. So we were picked to enter as producer groups, as a producer, which is the apex body of women in poultry value chain. And this project, the components are such that it's an input credit. Like you said, I also want to explain. If you are talking about input credit, it's not a grant that is given to you and you take it free forever. But it is a World Bank project. So they'll give you the day-old chicks, the Koko and Kitty, they'll give you feed, they'll give you vaccine.
Okay.
Then as you produce and sell, you pay back.
Okay.
So that's why we say it's an input credit. So we apply for 50,000 birds for the year cycle, but in 2 cycles. So we have actually finished the first batch of our birds, which are 25,000 birds, broilers.
Okay.
And that's the reason why we are here. And so as part of our as part of our 8th anniversary, we want to grill some of the chicken for the public to taste. We want to promote Ghana chicken. We want people to eat Ghana chicken. Ghana chicken is tastier. It is fresh. It is white meat. Poultry meat needs to be white. Sometimes you meet some of the meat and poultry meat and it's red. So we're saying that we must produce what we eat so that we can grow our local industry.
Okay.
The monies that we use in importing the poultry products can be channeled into maybe our production also and other sectors of the economy so that we can grow our local economy.
Okay. Madam, you mentioned broilers.
Yes.
It seems as though when we hear of poultry farming, it's always broiler. What about the layers?
Yes, it is not only broiler.
Okay.
Yeah, we have broilers, we have layers. You know, I started talking about pullet.
Okay.
And so before you get layers, you have to pass through the pullet stage.
Okay.
You are feeding the small birds up to 18, 19, 20, they are laying, then they become layers. That's where we get our eggs.
Okay.
So a lot of people are also involved in eggs. So in Ghana, a lot of people are also involved in egg production. But the broilers are for meat, and they grow very fast. Within 6-7 weeks, your broilers are ready.
Yeah.
Unless you want to break the bones, you can keep them to some 9-10 weeks where you think that you want to harder meat, but then it means it will be at a higher cost. And so this particular project is meant for broilers. Because very often, if you look at the poultry product that is being imported in huge quantities, it is the broilers.
Yeah.
And so it's meant to cut down the rate of importation of this broiler meat and to grow our local industry in the poultry sector.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what exactly are your progress marking so far?
Okay. So since 2017, we were at the tipping stage for some time. We actually had support, like I mentioned. We had the Busak Fund. So Busak Fund actually supported us to do an advocacy action on ECOWAS veterinary pharmaceutical protocol. That protocol sought to delineate the roles clearly between the veterinary services and the FDA, so that at any point in time the roles are clear. Because then when there are crossovers, it is the farmers who suffer. So we were supported by BOSAC to carry out that advocacy. And then the Ghana Poultry Project came in. The Ghana Poultry Project is the United States of Department of Agriculture project.
Okay.
And so that one also, like I mentioned earlier, they supported it in capacity building. They also supported us to produce the pullets, then kitty growing into the pullets they lay eggs for us. And then GIZ also, like I mentioned, supported us. We are still in work in progress. And then the food systems came in. Our numbers have also grown from around 300 to now about 1,200.
All over the country?
All over the country. We have chapters in all over the country. We started with the then 10 regions, but now we covered almost all the chapters in the country. And we also realized that getting money to start business is a big one. And sometimes we don't have that savings culture. So we have a structure which we call an entrepreneurship savings and loan scheme, which was started, supported by the United States of Department of Agri, Ghana Poultry Project. And when that project exited, we grew it ourselves. What we do is that we contribute our own monies into the fund, and then you can take loan from the fund at very minimal interest rate and then put it into your business.
Okay.
So that has actually grown. It's one of our strengths now. So even if we have any monies to give out to our members to work with, we've made them to open bank accounts within that kind of credit union so that we know monies through that account. That is our future plan for that scheme.
Okay. So with the incidence of poultry business tending to fail pretty easily, how are you able to balance that with the credit union system?
Yes, so poultry businesses tending to fail pretty what?
Easily. You know, like sometimes you hear that half the birds have died of some avian flu or something.
I was going to ask you exactly what, yes. So that is high mortality rates. And it's education.
Okay.
So what we've been doing is to do education on how to make our environment clean. You don't allow visitors onto your farm. Your drinkers and your feeders are clean. Your litter is not dirty. It comes under a bigger heading which they call biosecurity.
Okay.
And then in the livestock and poultry policy of this country, that component is even there since 2016, where it's expected that farms should even be biocertified. Then you are sure that when you are taking any input into that farm, they are safe. So with the practice of high biosecurity, the mortality rates are down. And then poultry work is a lot of observation. As you observe your birds, you can quickly move out those ones that might be sick so that it doesn't spread. So if you're an absentee farmer in poultry, it doesn't work too well.
Okay.
Yes, so farms it's tending to fail. Sometimes is due to can I say, maybe lack of supervision and maybe closer to the ground because a lot of things happen, you know. So when we have a large stock, you cannot go there every day and be counting your bets. Maybe it's only when you want to dispose of them that you know that you have lost so much.
Okay.
So attention is also needed.
Okay.
Attention is needed. So with biosecurity, we are able to cut down the disease outbreak.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that being said, can somebody who is probably in the corporate world also join and then learn how to start a small poultry farm for themselves?
Yes. So for us, members can join from two angles. Maybe you are already in the poultry sector. You are already structured. You have your feeders and other things. Like the foods that we are doing now, the credit input does not cover building of structures. And so you have your structure already, and then you take the inputs and then we work with. There are also opportunities for new entrants to come in. Because you know the agricultural sector, the labor is becoming an aged group. I have been doing poultry over the years, over 35 years. We wish the young ones could just take up. So we embrace young ones who also want to start, but we believe that it should start with capacity. It's the person must know what to do. Without the capacity, people go in for the best. That is where the mortality rates will be high. And for such people, then they will need some startup capital to build the structures and the other inputs to start with. Yes, so young ones are also welcome. And you see that along the value chain, I mentioned from the breeder house, we are getting fertile eggs. People are aggregating maize and soya. People are selling in. So we have a lot of job along the value chain. So job creation is very high also in the sector. So the young ones can also join at any part of the chain, not necessarily producing. You can just be picking eggs, you are cleaning and packaging, selling nicely. People are picking the already matured birds and dressing, packaging nicely for the restaurant. You can sell feed, can deal in drugs and vaccines. People are dealing in packaging materials, like the egg crates that we use and other materials. So young ones from corporate world can join.
So the young ones, this is also an opportunity for you to get something doing with your hands, you know, job creation here and there, various parts of the value chain you can join in. So I want to ask, since it is women in poultry value chain, is it open to men too? You know, young boys here and there who want to join?
Yes, you know, one of the reasons for the formation of this group is also gender related. We are talking about this gender parity. You know that the men are already in the space. It used to be a men dominated area. And so sometimes we, the women, when the men are there, we are not to learn some things. We think, oh, that's one the men should do it. So for now, limited it to the women. So even with our credit union, we are asking the women and building their capacity to keep their own records. So we teach the person how to keep records on the farm, keep records on this credit union that we are doing, so that we can be able to bridge the gap. But men who have our work interest in the work that we do, we accept them in as our patrons. And so if there's any advice, any support, but we do not accept them now as registered members. The fear is that the women will go back and relax again. And they say, oh, let the men do it. So we want to get to a point where the capacities are built. And then when we open up, then we are sure that the group will still be there and not be swallowed.
That's that's pretty great. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about the challenges faced over the years and how best you've been able to mitigate these challenges?
You know, the poultry sector challenges have been there over the years, very enormous. You even mentioned some already. You talk about disease outbreak. It has been there. Avian influenza, one year, the other coming. What do we do? That is why the issue of biosecurity has become critical. And so because we had this in the livestock policy, as I said, we again join hands with GIZ to advocate And then finally, FAO is supporting the ministry to develop guidelines for training people on this biosecurity so that we can be able to cut down the mortality rates.
Okay.
There's the issue of we are still depending on rainfall. So we are still a rain-fed agricultural country, even though we have few irrigation facilities. So there are certain times when the rain fails us seriously, then there's shortage of maize in the system. The maize and the soya that we use, it's not available all the time. When it happens that way, the cost of feeding becomes very high. So it's a big challenge. The day-old chicks, we don't have many breeder farms in this country. And so day-old chicks are imported. The country, you go and sit at the airport, sometimes 9:30, 10 p.m., 11, plane has not arrived, we are waiting for day-old chicks. But thank God now there are few hatcheries working around, and some are also importing the fertile eggs and hatching here. But that problem is not completely solved. It's also hanging in. Then for the husbandry practices, like I said, we are privileged to have interest groups who are building our capacity every now and then to know about new technologies and then to improve upon our husbandry system. The last time GIZ even organized a training workshop on financial management, Stargarden came in so that at least we'll be able to keep our books. That has also been a challenge, and now it's improving. But the major issue now is marketing. Yes, so when you produce, especially your broilers, you know the Koko food that comes. Sorry to say that, but that's how we call it. Yes. So it comes in, it's cheaper, relatively cheaper than what we are selling, because of the high cost of our inputs. So it tends to favor the other markets. So we don't appear to be very competitive. And so marketing becomes this is the reason why we are here today. We just want to let the public know that where we are now, the Ghana chicken is almost competitive with the imported chicken. But the advantage too is that it is white meat. When you use the Ghana one, it is tastier, it is fresh. I kept on mentioning it. You know how old it is. Those meats that come down, we don't even know how old they are.
I don't know how long it's been in the freezer.
Exactly. And so I don't buy imported chicken.
Okay.
Those who go to the market, we also did the research. A kilo is selling about 45 to 48 cedis a kilo. And so if you have a Ghana chicken, which is also maybe 3 kilo and above, and it's also selling around 140, 150, when you it's almost the same thing. Looking at even the dollar rate that we have, then it is better to eat the Ghana chicken because we are almost very close and very competitive. So today, come and taste the Ghana chicken and buy some at very affordable rates. We're selling at discounted rate because we want people to buy so that they will continue eating Ghana chicken. And so the major problem with the marketing is also the processing. Because if you have processing units, you can process your chicken and then save it in the cold houses and sell it at the right time. And then you will not use too much feed. So that has been a major problem which is still hanging, that we need processing centers maybe across the country, advantage points, so that people can just take their chicken when they are ready, take it, they process it under hygienic conditions, and then you freeze it for sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have 2 more questions, then you can do the adverts properly for us. So the people on this value chain, are they allowed to be, say, on their own? Let's say I'm part of WIVAC, right? And then I have my breeder, farms, everything. Will I have to name it my own, Yaira Poultry Farms, or it has to be something related to WIVAC?
Yes, so WIVAC is an umbrella organization covering all the women farmers. For instance, my farm is Vican's Farms, so I still have my Vican Farm. You can have your Yaira Farms. Somebody who is selling feed has his own name.
Okay.
But we all come under one umbrella as Weaver.
Okay.
We are yet to get a farm, let's say broiler farm producing for Weaver, to say that this is Weaver Farms as a corporate farm. But for now, the individual businesses exist on their own. We build their capacity, and we come under the umbrella for such resources like we are doing for the food systems now.
Okay.
So the DOHs and the feed are distributed to the individual farms. We monitor them. We take them through capacity building, how to do the best husbandry practices. We are monitoring the vet are there, how are the vaccines administered. Then at the end of the day, we come together. If there's a corporate market, we come together to sell. People also sell individually.
Okay.
So you can have it.
All right. Thank you. So I read that you do community engagement, educating people, and then doing some advocacy. If you can tell us about it.
Yes. So the community engagement is all about the fact that sometimes when you sit here in Accra, we assume that everything is okay. So normally when it is International Women's Day, the Day of the Rural Woman, we celebrate those days and then we use it to sensitize our women in the communities. And sometimes the capacity building, but sometimes some of their social issues too. Women, we have some more other issues apart from the production ones. So sometimes we are doing health screening. Sometimes we are also helping them to source funds for their production. So where there is access to finance, we are able to help them access those monies.
All right. Thank you so much. So we have a guest coming from FSRP, right? Yes, she'll be joining us right at this break. Don't forget to send in your questions, your comments to our WhatsApp number displayed on, onto our live stream on Facebook and on YouTube. We'll be right back. Please.
West African wide project.
Okay.
And it is looking at strengthening food systems across a number of countries, Niger, Mali, Chad, Sierra Leone, and Ghana.
Okay.
And so it's not only looking at food systems, but also how to strengthen food systems using climate smart agriculture, and also looking at in the Sahelian countries growing trees to reclaim the desertification that is going on there.
Okay.
Yes, this is what FRP is about.
Okay.
It's a 5-year project. It's a MOFA project, and then it's with support from the World Bank.
Okay.
Yes.
So with this 8th anniversary celebration, what should we expect when we come down here?
I believe maybe, I don't know, Victoria has told you, but we have given support in the form of input credits, vaccines, feed, and then technologies, climate smart technologies in the realm of poultry. So that is the support we've given them to support them along the value chain. And FSRP is to a number of commodities. Among them is maize, soya, rice, and tomato, and then of course the poultry, which is the protein side. So we are hoping that with the support to the maize and the soya, which is a main ingredients in poultry feed production, that will also support them in addition to the other input credits that we are giving them.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you intend to also support other facets of animal husbandry?
Not in this project.
Now. Okay.
Not in this project. Our focus is on poultry.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So do you also support people, individuals, aside the organizations? Do you also support individuals?
Yes, it is supporting individual commercial poultry farmers.
Okay.
But then support for women is unique in the sense that know the challenges that women face generally in agriculture in Ghana. Even within the poultry sector, we know that they just form like 30% of the people in the value chain. And that is why we want to support women. In FSRP, in the project, we want to reach 40% women. Ideally, we should be aiming at gender parity because we know that women form about 50.7% of our population.
Yeah.
Now, when you come to medium, small, and micro, small and medium enterprises, women dominate. And because the informal sector in our country is big, that is the biggest employer, it contributes 70% to our GDP. And that is where women function the most.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, because they have to balance that with the care economy in the home. So that is a niche that they are comfortable with in working and contributes a lot to the economy, like I said. And if you look at the statistics, I think apart from Ghana, in sub-Saharan Africa, women as entrepreneurs, the largest pool of women entrepreneurs are in Ghana. We are second to Uganda. And so we know that the poultry industry is a big niche for women. If they want to, if they get support, they can function very well.
Okay, great. So do you also do community engagements with education and advocacy, even training?
Yes, we do that. I mean, there's no support that we will give to women without that. I mean, you know that, like I said, because of their caregiving responsibilities, they do not usually have time to participate in formal spaces that men might have the opportunity to do that, because they always have to balance their triple roles, you know, reproductive and caregiving roles, the productive roles where they want to earn income, and these other community roles where they might want to also contribute to the economy. So we see that is why they don't have enough time to do this. So we always make sure that in every intervention that we target at women, we make sure that we have we provide them the opportunity for capacity building, advocacy, networking that will help them to reap benefits from whichever economic venture that they want to venture into.
Okay,
yes.
So Dr. Nogwe, so can you give us the main aspects of training and education that you tend to give to the women?
Yes, so
considering they don't tend to have time and all the factors involved.
Yes, so let me even continue with the community engagement. Normally, when we enter the community and you want to engage the women, even though men are not registered members of our association, the men are part of the community engagement. Because in most cases, the men even want to know what their wives are doing in that meeting. And so the community engagement goes with them. And then we do tailor-made trainings. You know, the level of education. And so if you don't have time to go and sit in 4 to 5 days workshop, if for instance we are doing entrepreneurship savings and loans training, which will take us about 4 or 5 days, we integrate it into our meetings. And then we do maybe model 1, model 2. So by the time we have through 1 month, we would have done the 4 models of the training that we want to do. So I mentioned that very often the women, you know, we are tempted to just take the same bag for our business and for the home. You sell the thing, sometimes you put it in your bag and you go to the market. So our capacity building has also financial management, where you can keep your records and make sure that at least you can cut and profit margin for the work that you are doing. The husbandry practices are included, especially the marketing. You know, at the grassroots level, is the women who do more of the marketing. So there's capacity building in processing of the eggs and the chicken, how you can pack it also for marketing.
So, Madam Hayford, I want to ask a gender-based question. So, this is for both of you actually, though. So, in a situation like you mentioned that even the men want to know what their wives are doing, what happens when a woman shows interest in the poultry farming and wants to, you know, earn some cash, and then the husband is not exactly in favor? How then are you able to help out?
I think that, like Victoria mentioned, in community engagement these days, for a time now, I mean, we've realized that, you know, male engagement, engaging men and boys is an important part of, you know, gender mainstreaming or integration, because they need to understand why women and girls need to be empowered. And all worldwide studies have shown that if you empower women and girls, the ripple effect at the household level, at the community level, at the national level, economically is astronomical. Investing in women and girls is investing in the next generation of people. It's human capital. If you educate a girl, you know the saying, our own Agri said it, you educate a nation, because she will educate her children. She's an educated woman. She knows which right combinations of food to give to her children, so that their IQ, because we know right from that time when the children, even when she's pregnant, she knows the kind of food to eat. She knows that she has to go for antenatal. She will go to a hospital or a place where she will know that she will have a safe delivery. And we don't know that without women, there will be no human capital. The next generation of people will not be born. If they are born to, they might not have the right IQ. You will not have the right people to understand and educate. How, as it were, to get the right people who can steer the affairs of the nation. So this goes without saying. You educate them, they get an education, they understand things. Every woman these days, there's no man who doesn't want an empowered woman. I mean, households are such that you require 2 incomes. So if the men themselves are looking for women who are empowered, economically empowered. So it goes without saying. So now the men understand. Also, from an early age, if you teach your boys that, I mean, you know, doing even things at the household level, it's contributing to your own well-being. Helping your wife is contributing. These days, you can't even find help because every girl is going to school. So you contribute at your household level to support your wife, your children. You are contributing to your own welfare, your well-being. You are teaching your boys not to be feel disempowered when they see that a girl is empowered. Having empowerment with each other and contributing to contribution to the welfare of the family. Okay. So this is what it is. So if you empower girls, they grow up to be empowered women. They contribute to income. They contribute to GDP, and the overall national income for the nation. So these days they have come to understand that. Yes.
Okay. So Dr. V, would you like to add anything?
Yes, there are a few cases where you see the men wanting to front for the women. Yes, but once you have done the community engagement, they understand that when the women get these things, it's coming back to the household. Okay. Yes, so for training, somebody said, oh, my wife is not educated, so I want to sit in the training. We allow it. If you want to sit in the training, we allow it, even though they are not registered members. For training, we allow men to sit in so that they can also support them.
So have you had a significant situation like that where maybe one came to disrupt things? Or usually you're able to settle that before it escalates?
Not really. We have it because these days, like my sister rightly said, we get the men, we get support from the men. Okay. I have a lot of support from my husband. Yeah. This morning I left home around 4 a.m. You can imagine. Yes, but because he understands what I do, because I have to run from one point to I have to make sure that the program is successful today. So we've gone past those stages where you are there and the men will come in to interrupt. We haven't. But they sometimes want to sit in the meeting because my wife is not too educated. I also want to learn so that I can support them. We allow them to sit in the training meetings to support them.
So this, I heard this is the Chicken Road Show, right?
Sure.
Okay, so tell us about this program for today.
Yes. So for today, WAVAC is 8 years old. Hitherto our partnership with FSRP, we produce eggs. We didn't have enough chicken to give out, so we donated eggs to the mental hospitals at Panta and Salon. We go to orphanages to mark our day. But now that we have plenty of chicken, we want the public to come and taste the Ghana chicken. We want to use the session to promote Ghana chicken. People should come and taste Ghana chicken. Eat it. We have hot Ghana kenke alongside. And we have a fried yam. So we are inviting you to just come down, join us. As you taste, you buy more. We have the fresh dressed chicken along. So after tasting, you buy. And then you don't go back to the Koko phone. We will continue tasting Ghana chicken. So by 12 noon, lunch is ready.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so take your lunch plate.
3 hours.
Yes, so take your lunch. They've started grilling already. So take your lunch plate, 12 noon, join us for the hot kinky and grilled chicken.
So yes, all of you in and around the ministerial enclave, please find your ways to the Clogsag Auditorium or to the Clogsag headquarters. Yes, the frontage there. Come and purchase some authentic Ghanaian chicken and eggs, and of course, get your lunch as well. So, what are some of the potential outcomes that we should expect from WAVAC?
Yes, we are expecting that this should be the baseline for everybody eating Ghana chicken. We have been trying it over the years. We do have a Ghana Chicken Day, but this one, as part of our celebration, we are giving out more free chicken, so that the outcome should be that our minds should be oriented towards eating Ghana chicken. It is not too expensive if you compare to what you are buying. So you eat Ghana chicken and stay healthy. And we are expecting that the project will continue to sponsor us so that we can have continuous production. Because the problem is always that when you whet the appetite of the people and then later you cannot get it for them, then we have a gap. So that's it.
So in order not to go back to the Akukofino, as you put it, what are some of the, do you have maybe a list of some of the potential places we can get our chicken from or contact?
Yes, we have that, like you asked earlier on, whether they are individual farms or it's a WAVAC farm. We do not have a WAVAC farm. We have Vican's farm, which is my farm.
So we
can have a Grain Value Villa farms.
So let me take them. You said Vican's.
Yes, Vican's farm.
So VI.
Yes, CAN. Yes, so farms.
Okay, so the contact number.
The contact number is 020 816
2593.
Yes.
Okay.
So as you descend, you get more contacts and more of the roller banners by the checking downstairs.
Okay.
So we have the fruitful industries farms. A lot of them will be down.
Okay. So a lot of farmers would also be coming down.
Yeah, the individual farmers within VICAM, within WIVAC, are all here downstairs.
Okay.
So you can pick a lot of contacts from there.
Okay. So viewers, as you are watching, I've gotten one number for myself.
Yes.
Please do make your way to the frontage of Clockstag and come and acquire some contacts and of course some Ghanaian chicken. Yes. Okay. So with the FSRP, how long would you be able to maybe sustain WIVAC for, and what are some of the goals you've set for WIVAC 2?
The whole idea is that by the time the project ends, we should have built the capacity. Such that those along the value chain can increase their capacity. So those who are aggregators who are aggregating the maize and soy and using it for their feed with the concentrates, they can increase their volumes. Those who are doing the input supply, they can also into the vaccines and the medication for the poultry can also increase. Likewise, those who are farming the actual chicken increase, and then the number of birds. Those doing the day-old chicks can increase. Those who are the processors, who are processing the chicken into the final products, cut products, can do the same. Maybe even they can come together. I think Victoria talked about the fact that even it's the people who are processing, like the big plants. That is where we want to grow for them to get to a place. Maybe they can even come together, get a loan, and then do that. So we don't want them to remain small. The idea is that at this level, they can grow into maybe a medium enterprise, a large enterprise. Where by now they would have learned the ropes of the business such that they can go to the next level.
Wow.
That's the idea. Yes.
Thank you so much. So wrapping up, I'm sure some of our viewers want to join WIVAC. So what are the procedures to go through, or how do I come and join WIVAC and then start mine?
So if you want to join WIVAC, like I said from the beginning, we have 2 entry points. You are already in the poultry value chain, performing one of the activities of the chain, and you can join us. We'll register. Our registration fee is just minimal 100 cedis. Yes, so you register. We pay monthly dues, very minimal, to be able to sustain the association. If you are a newcomer coming, we are now enrolling young people, build their capacity, and then trying to source funds for them as startup capital because they need to build the structures. The challenge around it now is that there are no agricultural lands which are purposely zoned for poultry or agricultural activities. So the person must be able to at least locate a site where you can work. And then we do mentoring and coaching where we are attaching the young ones to the farms of the older ones. For instance, when the Ghana Poultry Project was around and they had a mentorship and coaching program, I had about 3 or 4 people at my farm had to go for 6 months. By which time they would have learned all the processes through which they can even get pullets to lay eggs, or through which they can do the broilers and process, or they can brood the cocks and sell. So the mentoring and coaching part is there to be able to rope the young ones into the program.
So that's even bringing a different question. With the mentorship, isn't there a risk of these younger ones coming to destroy things in the older ones' farm or steal it or something?
There are a few cases where that can happen, but those who actually come with passion, not that because there's money there so they come in, they really behave and work well. I remember those who were on my farm. At the end of the day, the Ghana Poultry Project mounted a business proposal competition, which they did, and at the end of the day, they had money to start their farms. But I came across the situation you are talking about, where a big farm in another region, I don't want to mention, said, well, I don't want mentees again because they come and I have an orange orchard there. There are fruits where those don't go in, but they come and they do anything. So they are just distorting the decision on the farm. There are a few cases, but all in all, I think the mentorship program should continue for us to be able to get your ones to, for the next generation, for us to always have Ghana chicken to eat. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So, if we want to join, where do we contact you? Where do we find WIVAC headquarters or something?
We are located on the Lakeside Estate Road in Ashalibuchi.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a contact or a website?
There's a website.
Okay.
You can do www.wivacapesghana.com. You can find us on Instagram, and so personal contacts. We have a WhatsApp platform where we do our monthly meetings. Sometimes we do virtual, so we meet physically also once a month. We have now gotten branches also in Gawest, in Amasama. We have our members in Tema. We have excellence in Ashama Mandela Market, in Ashama Main Market, another group in Kantamanto. We have two groups in Kaneshi. We have Omi Market, and we have Dodoa. I'm talking about the Greater Accra. Then when we move to the other regions, they are also there. Yes, because it's a value chain. We have the live bird sellers. We don't have too many women in the live bird selling market, but at least we have few of them amongst the men as you go to. But Tema Market has, I think Tema Market, there are a lot of women there who are live bird market. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been very educative. I think we have a few comments here. So this one says, kudos to our great women. God bless them all. This is Mrs. Josephine Atta in Kumasi. Thank you for your comments. Then this one says, Happy Mother's Day in advance to these great women. Kudos to you, Yaira, and your team. This is Kwesi Yeboah. Thank you so much for your comments. All too soon, our time is up for this segment. We have another discussion coming, which is about sanitation in Ghana's preparedness. So we'll be having time with the AMA right after this break. But for now, I want to say a big thank you to you, and I wish you all the best in your project. We will definitely come down there to come and partake, and of course buy some chicken and egg. This has been a very inspiring conversation. Thank you all so much.
Thank you also.
for having us.
Special kudos to our women down there who are grilling, and all those across the region. We say good morning.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you too.
All right, so right after this break, we will be discussing the sanitation issues and how Ghana is preparing for the incoming rains as we're in the rainy season. So we will be right back.
This is how we do.
Yeah, welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Koko Digest Morning Show, and we are having the second part of our main discussion, which is about sanitation. And I'm doing this with the Public Health Director at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly in the person of Madame Flora Pucci, and she's here with us to tell us how prepared Ghana or Accra is for the rainy season. Good morning, Madam. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, let's get straight into the conversation. How is the sanitation issue in Accra at the moment?
Let me take this opportunity to say thank you for having me, and let me extend greetings to mental health fraternity in the country, popularly known as the tankers or the summers. We are in town, we are working, we are ensuring that the communities will be clean to prevent flooding and diseases. Okay. So let me come to your question. So Accra Metropolitan Assembly is more or less the hub of all eyes. We are like Tupac, all eyes on us. Yes, because we have a transient population of about 2 million daily. Yes. So what are we doing to enhance sanitation? So let me say flood mitigation and then sanitation efforts that we are putting in place in the assembly. First of all, we have started desilting our tertiary drains. I say tertiary drains because the assembly is in charge of desilting tertiary drains. Okay. For the primary drains, is for hydrological service. Okay. They does that. So we have started desilting.
Not to cut you, but what's the difference? What is a tertiary drain? What's
so the primary drain is the big drain that we see that carries all runoff. Okay. The tertiary drain drains into the primary drain. And we have the secondary drains into the tertiary drain. Okay. That also drains into the primary drains that takes it to the seaside or the lagoons or the streams that we have. So we have started desilting our tertiary drains. We are carrying out community campaigns, ensuring that community people will desilt their secondary drains in the communities. So we have mapped up our flood-prone areas like the Salaga Market Enclave, the Augulation Market Enclave, the Kaneshi First Light Enclave. With the help of the Garage Project, there is a big drain have been built from the First Light, joining to the Obichebi Lamte overpass to prevent flooding. We are also putting on enforcement as well, because after doing all these things, if you don't enforce, a lot of people will not do the needful. Yeah. So these are some of the things the assembly is putting in place. Yeah.
Okay. So with regards to the floods, what are some of the going to be done to help mitigate the floods? Because whatever we do, it seems Accra will get flooded. Because places like even our roads, is that something that's a prerogative of the AMA?
So Accra gets flooded because of our attitude. The people that are living within Accra, we all contribute to it. For instance, people feel reluctant to pay for their waste. They prefer to bag all their waste and live with their waste in their homes. When it starts raining, that's the time you see people disposing of their waste through drains. You see Aboboya waste collectors. They collect the waste and go and put it somewhere. When it starts raining, that's the time they start bringing it to dispose it on the drain, because they do not want to go and pay the disposal fees. So it is our attitude. So what I am saying is, it is important for us to invest in social behavior change communication. We must change the behavior of the people that are living in our communities. People must get to know that waste is not waste. Waste is wealth in transit. If you are in your house and then you are generating waste, you have plastic waste, you can combine the plastic waste together, send it to a buyback center. They will weigh it and give you money. If you have organic waste, you can give it to people that are into compost process. They can put it into their compost plants and then give you some money. Then the little that we cannot do anything about it can then be diverted to the landfill site, and the waste that we are generating will reduce. And when it reduces, then the flooding that we are talking about will come down. One of the thing too is people are building on waterways. That is another thing. It is not for anything that there used to be areas like wetlands. Wetlands are areas that when it rains and the water comes in, it will stay there and then percolate or seep down bit by bit to prevent flooding. But today, what do we do? People see that this place is waterway, but that is where they will build. You go and write stop project. In the night, they will build it and it will stand there. The assembly will get there to go and demolish it. Then you will hear people calling from all over to stop or not to touch it. Who should we touch? Whom should we not touch? It means when you know somebody, you can do the wrong thing. But if you don't know somebody, you can easily be what? Attacked or arrested. So this is where we find ourselves.
Okay. So has the AMA also organized any cleanup campaigns, or do they intend to organize cleanup campaigns?
So at the beginning, I told you we have started doing the Sultan. The Sultan is part of cleanup campaigns. And the government is reintroducing the National Sanitation Day. This Saturday, the National Sanitation Day is taking place in Accra Metropolitan Assembly. It is going to take place at the Agboleshi Market and its enclave. There's going to be massive cleanup. There's going to be the Sultan. There's going to be blowing of drains and all these things, just to ensure that we minimize the rate at which the flooding takes effect in our communities.
Okay, so how is the Assembly also enforcing the bylaws?
Okay, so the Assembly is enforcing the bylaws through servicing of what we call abatement notices, through mandatory notices, then through summons and taking people to court. But there is a constraint because we do not have enough sanitation costs. I think I've mentioned this issue here 1 or 2 times. So Accra Metropolitan Assembly is lucky. We've now have our court being finished up. We are just waiting for the inauguration or the confirmation of our mayor. Then the court will then be commissioned for use. And when the court is commissioned for use, you will definitely hear what is going to happen in the assembly. Yes.
So in the interim, how are you holding, perpetrators accountable?
Okay, so in the interim, what we do is there are some sanitation costs outside the jurisdiction of the assembly, but it's just a distance. For instance, carry a case from Accra to La Court or to Ablekuma West or to Achimota. Sometimes it leads to delay of justice. So and when it becomes like that, enforcement becomes slow. But if you have it right there, the action is taken. If it is fine, the person is fine. If it is action, the person is convicted to go and serve and come out and will not come and sin again. Yes.
Okay, so usually we see maybe do not dump refuse here, spot fine, 200 cedis or 500 cedis. Do those actually work?
Yes, they work because in the Local Governance Act, we have what we call the cost of abatement. So if you commit a sanitation offense and you are being arrested by the environmental officers, that is the Sama in the assembly vicinity, we have what we call the cost of abatement. So the cost of abatement is legal, is backed by law. It is in the fee fixing resolution. So it is per the what is being placed on the fee fixing resolution that you are going to pay. You don't just pay and go. You pay that fine and you sign what we call
is it a bond?
Yes, it is like a bond in the way. You sign it and then you go. We keep a copy and give you a copy. When next we arrest you, we go into our archives. If your name is known, it means it is a deliberate thing. It doesn't mean that. So you are not going to pay the cost of abatement. You are going to be arraigned before the court of law.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. So how is the AMA promoting community participation in public education?
So we do these things by calling town hall meetings. We do focal group discussions, we try as much as possible to let the people within the assembly jurisdiction understand that sanitation is everyone's. Sanitation is not just for only the assembly, it's for everybody. You see, when you take sanitation, it has 3 pillars that people are always forgetting to know. The first pillar is the public good, that is the waste. Every boiler is public good, is for the government. The second is the business aspect, and the business aspect is where you find the private waste collectors in. The business aspect means that after the waste is being generated, is being collected, segregation is done, recycling is done, some useful materials come out from the recycling. Then the third aspect is the public health, because if it is not managed properly, it can lead to disease. For instance, poor sanitation is risks of hygiene or poses hygiene risks. For instance, when you talk of hygiene, you are talking about food safety, you are talking about water quality, you are talking about personal hygiene in all. So if you are not able to work on your sanitation properly, flies can perch on some of these waste that is we generate and come and perch on your food. It will contaminate the food. Water sources can be contaminated, and when you drink contaminated water, you are born of getting cholera, diarrhea, or typhoid fever. So these are some of the things. And also at the landfill side, if it is not done properly and the scavengers goes there to go and take the useful materials, and then let me say if medical waste are being lumped up there, they carry diseases and bring it. They can bring hepatitis, they can bring dysentery and others. Then it will be going around the circle.
Okay. So in Accra, I don't think we have a lot of public facilities where people can use. So what are some of the measures being put in place to give us accessible restrooms and things like
you
that?
mean public washrooms?
Yes.
There are a lot of public washrooms in Accra, but the issue is maybe the accessibility and then the hygienic nature of these facilities, because there can never be a smart, resilient city without public facilities. When you go to just the Makwala Mall alone, you have more than 20 public facilities in that place. But the issue is, how is it clean? So because Accra Metropolitan Assembly, we have realized that these washrooms are sometimes serve as hub of contamination. We have brought in a third party that we are kind of what we call the star-rated public toilet facilities. So what we do is, we go there, we carry out some inspection, we do some swab at highly touched areas to see how the place is clean. Then we rate it. After we swab and then put it into whatever test that it carries out, it's just an instant. Give you the hygienic content or nature of the facility. If the facility is not clean, we use it to educate the caretakers to ensure that they make sure the facilities are clean. It will interest you, some facilities even score as 2 stars, 3 stars, but the highest should be 4. As at now, we've not yet had any public toilet that are in the 4. So we are still training them. We bring them together, we give them training how to clean, then we go to carry out this activity. And it is helping, and they are very happy because it is increasing their productivity. It is not just that, we are trying as much as well. We are even trying to put this toilet on an app. So when you are within the city center, you can just go to Google on that app, then you see which facility is closer to you and how clean is the facility to use it.
Okay, so someone here is asking that, please, is AMA also in charge of regulating public posters? It's not related to the flood.
AMA it's not only AMA. Every assembly is in charge of regulating public posters. It is handled by the planning unit. So they are in charge of regulating public posters. Before you can post something, either be it a small post, be it a signboard, a billboard, you must go to the assembly at where you want place that post. To seek permission, there are some amounts of money that you pay, and it goes for a speculated time period. After that time period, if you want it to still be there, you have to go and renew it.
Okay.
Yes. So all these small posts that have made the whole city so nasty, it's against the law. So the planning unit can send people out there to go and remove these posts, call the people who have placed them down, for them to come, and they will pay a fine. If you don't pay, you can be charged to court.
Okay.
Yes.
So does that apply to the campaign?
It applies to everything.
Okay.
Because you don't just go and paste anything. When you go to other countries, they do politics as we do. But immediately the campaign is over, everything might be pulled down. Then we move at one. We don't move parallel. Okay. So all those things should be pulled, and then the city will be clean. Yes.
Okay. So does the AMA Metropolitan Assemblies with regards to maybe the flooding issues?
Every assembly is autonomous, just like AMA is autonomous. So the same type of staff that are in AMA, the same kind of staffs are also in all the assemblies. But because we share boundary, there are times we do collaboration. We do cleanup exercise together. We move from one assembly to ensure that work is going on well. If I am in my assembly and I feel that there's something that I am doing, and because I have been with the people excessively, they are not trying to listen, you can bring in different people from other assembly to come and work on it for you.
Okay.
So we collaborate.
Okay. So in a situation where, this is an example though, so let's say when it rains, maybe Kumasi's waterway passes through to Accra, something like that. Would there be a need for collaboration as to how to maybe Kumasi people should manage, Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly should manage their water so that the pressure would not come onto Accra, because Accra is closer to the sea, something like that.
Okay, so runoff water has no boundary. Runoff water goes anywhere. It is not just Kumasi. It can even move from Ghana to Ivory Coast. It can move from Burkina Faso to Ghana. That is why there are collaborations. So we are all doing the same work in different areas to achieve the same results. Because diseases is no respecter of people. Pollution has no boundary and doesn't have political colors. So we all work. So as Kumasi is working to ensure clean sanitation, clean environment, Accra is also working to ensure clean environment. Ivory Coast is working to ensure clean environment. Togo is working to ensure clean, because all these countries also have environmental health officers who work as sanitation officers.
Okay.
Throughout the globe, there's no country you go and you not find environmental health officers. Yes.
Okay. So we spoke briefly on the unauthorized construction of waterways, but okay, aside the fact that some people know some people, so there's some order from above here and there, how else do you also tackle these issues?
So when it happens, it is not just done only in the assembly, it goes higher to the region.
Okay.
So the regional minister goes round with the task force to identify some of facilities and then plan for their demolition.
Okay.
And before they give them some notice to let them know that where the facility is not at an authorized place. Some people don't even have building permit, and because when you go for a building permit to build on a waterway, there's no assembly that will give you a building permit. So most of these buildings you see, they just build without permit. So they go in there, identify them, give them notice to evacuate, then the place is being pulled down. Sometimes the government, if the government is a sympathized government, they can give you some kind of compensation to move to a different place.
Okay. So what are some of the collaborative initiatives between AMA and NADMO and other bodies for disaster management?
Oh, NADMO is a decentralized agency.
Okay.
Because when you go to every assembly, NADMO is a department.
Okay.
Yes, so
there's NADMO part of AMA.
NADMO, every assembly there's NADMO.
Okay.
NADMO is a department, it's a decentralized agency. So when we talk of decentralized, you go to the district assembly, they are there.
Okay.
Yes, they draw their budget from the assembly.
Okay.
Yes, so we work together. Yeah, because when you talk of flooding, when there's flooding and then people's properties are being destroyed, the NADMO is there to rescue. The environmental officers are there to provide sanitary facilities to prevent diseases outbreak. So we work hand in hand.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are some of the initiatives, or if you are aware for the NADMO office in your department, what are some of the they're also going to take on for the incoming rains?
Oh, so NADMO identifies safe havens areas, so that when there is a disaster, they can move the people to the place. They are also part in mapping up flood areas to know that this area is our flood-prone areas, and this is where we are going to do A, B, C, D. So NADMO works interconnected with that. So we work, we collaborate. There are times we even go to the field together to go and work. So there's a very serious or very good environment collaboration between NADMO and environmental health officers.
Okay, so word has come to me that we have a video to be displayed. It has sound, so we'll be taking a look at that quickly. Yes, so that was Seko, and they seem to be taking off the stones under the bridge. Yes, the overpass. So could you please speak to that for us?
Okay, so you've seen that it's neatly arranged. So I will not be fast to say it is done by those boys, because if it were those boys, it will not be arranged in that form. It could be that the assembly is doing it. You know, those stones that were placed there, most of the time, as technical officers, we say that it is a recipe for disaster.
Okay, how is that?
So when something happens, people are running. People can fall on it, and it can cause serious injury. It could have been paved, either paved or used as a green grass bed. So it could be that the assembly is trying to remove them, and then that place is colored. So I cannot tell. So the way it has neatly, maybe they have realized that they can put green grasses at that place, because we are advocating for green spaces. If a large space like that lying down with pointed stones, why don't you remove them and then green space? Then it will help reduce city heat. It will also help reduce air pollution and other things. We are just, as you talk of flooding, it will be an open space that when it rains, water can stay there. It will absorb water and then goes down, than to let it be there to serve as a recipe for a disaster, which we are not praying for.
So some people may argue that the stones were put there because they wanted to prevent people from making, like especially the homeless, making that area some sort of shelter for themselves. So in this situation where the stones are being removed, when it's made into a green space, don't we still face the risk of having people coming to live there?
When it's made into a green space, it's rather better to prevent people from sleeping on the grass. Because with this, you still see people go to get, plywood, and come and put it there and sleep on it. Even the one that they have used, the pavement blocks, when you get into the Ghanaian times, you see the boys are removing their pavement blocks and turning it into a bed. So it's a serious issue that needs intersectoral collaboration. You need the security, you need mental health, you need the social welfare department, and you need the central government, because we must create a correction center where when we remove these people, we will send them there. If the correction center is not there, you remove them today, tomorrow you come, they will be there. And they are creating a whole lot of sanitation problems at that area.
Okay, so with that kind of area is not your jurisdiction, so let's come back to the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Do you intend to intensify any community engagements in education and things, especially for the markets? Because sometimes when you come in the morning, when you see that to do, oh goodness.
For the intensification of education, it has been there since long. You see, mostly I say it is only the Sama or the environmental officer who meet our clients in their comfort zones. We do house-to-house inspection. You are in your house, we come to you, we come and give you education. You are in the market, we come to you, we come and give you education. You are in your office, we are there. Sometimes people even become fed up with us. When they see you, they don't even want to give you the audience because they think you are overdoing things. But that is what we are trained to do. So for the intensification, it is there. It is there, and that's what I'm saying. All those areas, we are earmarking them to use them to serve as deterrent when we get our court in AMA. It is not just the Tudu enclave alone. Go to the Awogloshi and go and see how the places. They trade on the street and put their residue inside the drain. And put the drain. When it's rain, there's flood. Then there will be the same people calling on government to come to their aid. How can you do that?
So it seems the main problem, aside the waste, is also the behavior.
Yes. The attitudinal of the human beings that are living within the areas that we find ourselves. People are refusing to change. People are refusing to do the right thing. And you know, always what I say is, the Ghanaian citizen most of the Ghanaian citizens are lazy, but they are smart in brain. So they use their smartness to blindfold the political elite. So when they do that, then as if they are supporting them. So when they do something wrong and the law enforcer is going there, then they'll start saying, and if you don't allow us to do this, then we won't vote for you. And then they will allow them. So what we say is, you know, we the technical officers, we are like lions. And the political elites, or let me say the representatives, they are like sheep. When 1,000 lions are going to a war with one sheep leading them, they will fail. But when 1,000 sheep are going to a war with one lion, they will win the war. They should hide behind the technocrats for us to do the work for them, to take the praise. But if they are interfering in the work we do, they cannot take the praise, and they always blame the technocrat. That is what is happening now. Look, when you take the technical report for the SDGs by the NDPC, you will see that each target, there are about 162 targets, and each target is drawn from the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Each target has synergies, that is linkages with other SDGs. It shows that when you are able to solve this one, you'll be solving this one indirectly. It will need you to know that SDG 6, target 6.2, which talks wash, that is end open defecation, sanitation, good water and all that. That is the highest. It has about 132 linkages with all the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. This simply tells you that if the government invests properly on sanitation, with using the right technical people to do the work, and if the sanitation issues are solved, all the remaining 16 SDGs will be achieved. Because let's talk about health, well-being, that is SDG 3. When you are able to solve sanitation problem, people are not defecating in the open, you realize that there are no weeds, mosquitoes are not breeding, you will not have cholera, you will not have diarrhea, you will not have typhoid fever, you will not have malaria. And these are the mostly reported cases in the hospital. It's really that we are now having the respiratory diseases being the number 1 or the number 2 on it. So all these things will come down. The pressure that would have been on the healthcare facility will reduce. Now much attention will be turned on non-communicable diseases. Even now, there's a study by World Health that says that if you are able to solve the environmental induced problem, we'll even be reducing non-communicable diseases by about 35%. It means that everything that is an environmental induced issue.
But it seems also that we don't have that many dustbins around for the waste to be put in. So people tend to just heap it around. Is that something that the AMA has to deal with, or it's for the companies like Zoom Lion and things?
Okay, so as we said, in the city center, it's a public area. So the assembly must provide street bins. When you go to every country, there are street bins. So the assembly is working hard to provide street bins. But it still comes back to the attitude of the human beings. You place the street bins for people to put in droppings that they might have come in contact with in their hands. In the morning, people will carry their waste from the house. They don't want to pay. They'll come and fill up the container. Before you get there, it becomes another issue of itself. That is the problem. So it is high time we invest much on SBCC to ensure that people change their behavior towards some of these things.
Okay, so I have someone here has sent 3-in-1 questions. So this is Mrs. Asante from Kumasi. She says, hello Koko Digest, good morning. My questions are 3. What infrastructure projects is AMA implementing to mitigate flood risks in Ghana?
So
that's the first one.
Okay, so infrastructure projects that the assemblies are putting to mitigate flood. We know if you don't have enough drainage system, it leads to flooding. So we are re-engineering the drains, both primary drains, tertiary drains, and then secondary drains, to ensure that there is easy flow of water. So when it rains, the place will not be flooding. We are also intensifying our enforcement. Even now, when it is raining, you see environmental officers in the rain working. But the issue is, we don't even have the logistics. If we have the movable facilities, we move around. Anybody that is dropping something in the drain during the raining, the person can be arrested. And more so, a flood or sanitation issue is a collective effort. We play a part, the media has something to do, the public has something to do. When you see it, you report, then we work on it. Then holistically, we achieve what we are all looking for. That is why I hope I've answered her question.
Now, her next question is, what measures can be taken to prevent flooding and improve drainage in Kaswa?
And the next one is?
And then the next one is, how can AMA improve waste management services in Kaswa? Hey, madam.
Yes.
So it seems Kaswa is also a very big
So
issue.
just it's the same thing. Just I've answered. So ensuring that waste management is being managed properly, we must have what we call an engineer landfill. There's no contractor that can manage waste without an engineer landfill side, because we are human beings, we are waste generation animals. Wherever you place a human being, just for an hour, there will be waste, because we move with waste. Yes, because with waste, we must find a way to manage the waste. You can't put a human being with waste in the same place. The person must find a means to dispose of that waste. And it is the duty of the assemblies. And when we started, I said waste is a public good, and every public good is handled by the government. So because there's a lot of expenses on waste, and as well as wealth generating from waste, there's a policy in the country that 80% of waste should be ceded to the private companies. Then the assemblies will manage the 20%. So if the assemblies are managing the 20%, the assemblies must be resourced with the needed requisite logistics. For instance, they need compact tracks. They need a final disposal site. When they collect the waste, they can go and dispose dispose it there. Not just disposing, but properly engineered managing, because if you just have a landfill site that is not an engineered landfill site, it is a managed improper dump site, because you just send the waste there, a dump, then it is cap. No leachate control systems are put in place, and when it's rain, the waste will seep, the wastewater will go down, that is the effluent, through our underground water, and then to pollute the water, then to lead to disease outbreak. It will come back to us. So we need an engineer landfill site. But it's unfortunate that in the Gama area, we don't even have an engineer landfill site. It is now the government they have come out at a place we call Aidan. Yes, that is where they want to build the engineered landfill site, and technical environmental health engineers are part in the design of the area and all that. And if it is put in use, it is going to be of help, because technically our landfill sites are full. And if you have a country with a full landfill site, it means we are sitting on a time bomb of diseases outbreak.
Wow. Okay, so we have comments here. Hunsupanga says, if the stones are removed, then there must be security personnel there 24/7 to prevent people from destroying the grass. And then this one also says, we seek for every 100 to 200 meters one dustbin. And this is from Fodium, yes. So it seems the dustbins that we're talking about, even though people still feel it, someone is saying every 100 to 200 meters.
It is important, because when people come to town, they buy water, they drink, they buy food, they eat. Where do they dump it? I believe that if you want to enforce the law, provide the facility. If the person refuses to use the facility and then you are enforcing the law, you have the right to enforce the law to the fullest. But you've not provided the facility, and say people should not drop things. Should they carry the waste with them to their houses?
They tell us that when sometimes when you
should put it in your pocket. When we travel to the other countries aside Ghana, is that what we do? Don't we see waste being outside? Yeah. Don't we see that they place waste bin, even segregated waste bin, plastic, paper, organic? Yeah. We see all those things. Why can't we do it?
That's true. So, okay, I think there's another comment here. I'm trying to wrap up. You people. Okay. So the other comment, okay, it just says, kudos to you. I'm learning so much. Thank you very much for your comments, Joyce. This brings us to the end of this conversation all too soon. Our time is up, and I really want to say thank you. And if you have any last words, I'm sure you'd want to admonish Ghanaian citizens here in oh goodness, one more comment. This one says, how can AMA balance rapid development with environmental sustainability and protection of agricultural lands? This is from Ajwa. I'm wrapping up.
Okay, so agricultural lands, if she's talking about AMA, we don't have agricultural lands. So AMA, we are thinking of rooftop agriculture. We are thinking of small container agriculture and all that. So this is what AMA can do. Okay. If she's talking about it should be outside AMA. It will be outside. And AMA is not Ghana. AMA is just a metropolitan assembly, just like Kumasi, Takoradi, Tamale. Okay. Yes, so that is it.
All right.
Yeah, but so what I want my listeners or our listeners to know is that sanitation is everyone's business. Once you are a living human being, you must create waste, and when you create the waste, find the appropriate means of disposing of the waste. What is the appropriate means? You must register with an accredited waste collection company near you. If you don't know the accredited waste collection company, go to the assembly. They will give you the person that you are supposed to register with. If you are not getting, we have the Abubuyapu that we have put them into cooperative. We have trained them so they know how to collect this waste and then send them to appropriate place. Don't keep the refuse in your homes when it is raining. You dispose it through the drain. It is an offense. And when you are being caught, you can go to jail on that because you are mechanically killing people indirectly. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. This has been a very good time with you. It's been very educational as well, and I hope that as you were watching, you also learned one or two things on how to manage your waste as well. A big thank you to everybody that joined hands to make the show a success. We say thank you so much. And yes, a quick reminder to make way to the Clocksag headquarters for the Whipvac Chicken Road Show. Come and buy Ghanaian chicken, come and taste Ghanaian chicken, and of course network with some of these farmers and some of the people in the value chain so that you can also be getting access to good chicken made here in Ghana. Thank you so much and have an amazing week ahead.
Clog TV, beyond the policy.